Now, a few words about UA Fanthorpe. Tell me about her.
UA Fanthorpe was a Quaker.
Are you a Quaker?
I'm a Quaker. She was married to a lady. She was lesbian.
Are you married to a lady, Mother?
No, I'm married to a gentleman who's in the kitchen making a racket at the moment. And she wrote wonderful, beautiful poetry. I particularly loved all her Christmas poems, and this was, without any doubt, my favourite. BCAD by UA Fanthorpe.
This was the moment when before turned into after,
and the future's uninvented timekeepers presented arms.
This was the moment when nothing
Only
happened.
dull peace sprawled boringly across the world.
This was the moment when even energetic Romans could find nothing better to do than counting heads in remote provinces.
and this was the moment when a few farm workers
And 3 members of an obscure Persian sect
walked haphazard by starlight straight into the kingdom of heaven.
Okay. BCAD by UA Fanthorpe. An explanation. Well, it should be fairly obvious, but I'll go through it anyway. This was the moment when before turned into after, and the future's uninvented timekeepers presented arms. Well, fairly obvious, really. When before turned into after, when BC turned into AD. But actually that's a misnomer, because actually Anno Domini before the year of our Lord and after the year of our Lord. So actually the point is 0 is the birth of Christ, and he died in AD 33, not after his, so they didn't count from after his death. But actually it's worse than that, because our system of counting comes from a scholar who basically couldn't count. He got his counting wrong. He not only forgot to count year 0, he further forgot to count the correct number of years for one of the Roman emperors. I can't think of the name at the moment. It'll appear below. So we measured from this time. And as you can see, it's quite a simple point, really. It just sort of comes up. And it was the moment when nothing happened. Only dull peace sprawled boringly across the world. Well, if you have any massive dictatorship, you'll have peace. I mean, there's a scene where one confuses peace with terror. I can't think of the quote where that's from. It doesn't matter. The point, however, is when you have an overwhelmingly powerful presence, nothing happens. Later it happened, of course. One can go on about the Jewish rebellions and ultimately the complete sacking of the Jerusalem, but that's another story. Basically, at this point, all was calm. So calm, it was a moment when even energetic Romans could find nothing better to do than counting heads in remote provinces. Yes, of course. This, is, of course, refers to the census. Luke 2, verses 1 to 3. For those who have a biblical bent, please look it up. When a few farm workers and 3 members of an obscure Persian sect, the shepherds and the magi, or the kings, the shepherds, Luke 2, 11 to 12, the magi, very interesting people. I'm fascinated by them. A lot of study onto those. The magi, Matthew 2, again, 11 to 12. Priests of Merides, or actually doesn't really matter. That was from the court of Darius, in Persia. They're probably Parthians. What we would call Zoroastrians, I never can say that word. They were established. They knew about them. They studied the stars. One could almost call them astrologers, and interpreted dreams. For those who knew their Christmas story, that becomes relevant. And now the best line of all. They walked haphazard by starlight, straight into the kingdom of heaven. The Christmas story. Thank you.
Shine bright, don't be shy, be a star, where you live, where you are. Shout it up, be a star.
and the future's uninvited timekeepers. No, sorry, can I start
Yeah,
again?
of course you can. Go ahead.
Try again then, okay.